Before you multiply fractions, there's a few basic things that you need to know. So I'm going to explain them here, but you can skip past this if you already know how to do it. Number one, simplifying fractions. So simplifying fractions is basically making the top number and the bottom number smaller, but still keeping the same value. For example, 2 over 4. To simplify fractions, you have to divide the top and the bottom by the same number. So 2 and 4. 2 goes into both of them, so I can divide both by 2, and I get 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 2/4 simplified is 1/2. Now this may seem confusing because how can they have the same value? But if I draw it in a circle, this, I split 1 into fourths and 1 into 2 halves. Well, if I 2 out of the 4, I shade 2 of them, okay? Then 1 out of the 2, I shade 1 out of the 2. And as you can see, both of these look the same. So even though these are two fractions, they represent the same value. After that, we have improper fractions to mixed numbers. So what do I mean by that? An improper fraction is a fraction where the top number is greater than the bottom number, while a mixed number is a type of fraction where there's a whole number plus a fraction part. So let's just say I have the improper fraction 5 over 2. How do I convert that into a mixed number? What you have to do is you have to take the bottom number and see how many times you can multiply it by itself without being over the top number. So 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Well, that's less than 5, but what happens if I multiply it one more time? 2 times 2 is equal to 4. That's also less than 5. 2 times 3, well, that's equal to 6. But that's greater than 5. So we have to take this biggest one that can go into 5, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. So now what we have to do is we take this number, the number we multiplied, and that's our whole number. After that, what we have to do is we have to take this number that we multiplied, the answer that we got, 4, then we have to subtract the top number minus that number. 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. So that means we get 2, and then this number that we subtracted, 5 minus 4, 1, becomes our top number. And then our bottom number is 2. So it's 2 and 1/2. We keep the bottom number the same. And finally, we have a mixed number to an improper fraction. So let's take the same number we had before, 2 and 1/2. Since we know what the improper fraction we started with is, let's try to get back to that. So mixed number to improper fraction is actually very simple. There's just a few basic steps. 2.5. So what you have to do is you have to take the denominator, the bottom number, and multiply it by the whole number. So you get 2 times 2. After that, you add the top number. So 2 times 2 is equal to 4. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. And then we keep the same denominator of 2. So we get 5 over 2 like we did before. Let's take a look at another example. 4 and 1/3. We have to multiply 3 times 4 and then add 1. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. 13, keep the same denominator of 3. And that's it. That's how you convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. If you still don't understand these, that's okay, because I've linked a few videos in the description that are explaining these exact topics. But also, we'll look at more examples in this video where I'll go over these. First, let's take a look at the steps to multiply fractions. It's actually very simple. For example, if we have 3/4 times 1/2, all we have to do is multiply the top number, 3 times 1, which is 3, and multiply the bottom numbers, 4 times 2, which is 8. And our answer is just 3/8. So our only steps are to multiply the top numbers, or the numerators, and the bottom numbers, or the denominators. Here I have a few easy questions, so let's try to solve them. Pause the video if you want to try it by yourself first. Number 1, 3 over 5 times 2/5. Well, 3 times 2 is equal to 6. 5 times 5 is equal to 25. So our answer is 6 over 25. Next question, 20 over 21 times 4 over 3. Now the numbers look bigger, but it's the exact same. Multiply the top by the top, multiply bottom by the bottom. 20 times 4 is equal to 80. 21 times 3 is equal to 63. And it doesn't look like you can simplify that either. Next question, 5 over 3 times 3 over 1. Now this is a special case because if you look at the second number, you don't see any denominator. Well, when you don't have any denominator, all you have to do is you have to write that whole number over 1. Because 3 divided by 1, this line means division. 3 divided by 1 is the same as 3. So we put the divide by 1 here. So we do the same thing. 5 times 3 and 4 times 1. 5 times 3 is equal to 15. 4 times 1 is equal to 4. Now, you don't even have to put the 1 over here. You can just see that this is on the top and there's no denominator. So you just do 5 times 3, 15, and keep the same denominator of 4. Finally, we have 7 times 2. 7 over 2 times 2 over 14. 7 times 2 is equal to 14. 2 times 14 is equal to 28. Okay, so our answers are 6 over 25, 80 over 63, 15 over 4, and 14 over 28. Well, that's not exactly true, because a lot of these we haven't simplified yet. For example, this first one, it needs to be made into a mixed number because it's an improper fraction. So 80 over 63. How many times does 80 go? How many times does 63 go into 80? Well, only once. Then how much is left after that? Well, 80 minus 63 is 17. So that's our top number, and then keep the bottom the same. So the answer to 2 over 21 times 4 over 3 is 1 and 17 over 63. Same thing for this one. It's an improper fraction, so we need to make it into a mixed number. So how many times does 4 go into 15? Well, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, but 4 times 4 is 16. So 3 is the maximum that can go. So 3 times 4 is 12. 15 minus 12, well, there's 3 left. So 3 goes up here and keep the same denominator of 4. So our answer for 5/4 times 3 is 3 3/4. And finally, it's not an improper fraction, but you might see that you can still simplify this because both 14 and 28, they can both be divided by 14. So when you do that, 14 divided by 14 is 1, 28 divided by 14 is 2. So 7 over 2 times 2 over 14 is actually 1/2. So now our final answers are 6 over 25, 1 and 17 over 63, 3 3/4, and 1/2. 2/4 times 4/8. Same thing like we did before, we need to make this into an improper fraction. So we have to multiply the bottom by the whole number and then add the top number. So 4 times 3 is 12, 12 plus 2 is 14. And keep the same denominator of 4. Now we multiply that with 4/8, which is equal to, we get 14 times 4 is equal to, let me just do that really quickly, 56. And then we have 4 times 8 is equal to 32. But we still need to simplify this because both sides can be divided by 4. So divided by 4, divided by 4, we get 56 divided by 4 is 14. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Well, now that I'm looking at it, I can see that it still can keep dividing because we can divide both sides by 2. So keep going, divide by 2, divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 is equal to 7. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So our final answer is 7 over 4. 3 2/4 times 4/8 is 7 over 4. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to Master Calculator for more math videos.